Alright, and we are live. Guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Snowstorm Podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. Today, we have a very special guest, a personal friend of mine, or at least, maybe he doesn't like me as much as I like him. No, I'm just kidding. We got Kevduit with us, guys. He is a YouTuber, a huge ESO YouTuber, and a ESO streamer. You can check him out at, it's just Kevduit is the name for everything, or is it Kevduit Live on Twitch?
No, I had to change that.
Oh, you got changed? Oh, you definitely did. Okay.
It screwed up my Twitch channel, man.
So guys, he is on YouTube and Twitch. You should go check him out. Kev, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing fantastic, and well, thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Dude, not a problem. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people would ask me after the podcast. I'll stream right after, and they'll say, "So when's Kevduit coming up? So when's Kevduit coming up?" And I'm like, when he has time, man. He just moved. His wife just got up to Canada. This man is busy. Okay, I'm not gonna take any of his time till he's ready. So once he was finally ready, we got him. But,
yeah, that was crazy month.
So what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about ESO. We're going to talk about just video games in general, kind of how you got into them, and then we can talk a little bit about Twitch and YouTube and what's kind of going on with your channel and what content you're creating, what content you're looking to create, and all that sort of good stuff.
I like it.
So I was watching your stream earlier today, and you're in PvP, and I haven't actually really had a podcast with PvPers, and you do a lot of PvP on your streams. And I was watching, honestly, the struggle bus of just the lag. Your attacks weren't going off.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things. And I first of all want to ask, did you switch campaigns and did it get fixed? Was it better in a different campaign or?
Yep. If I'm in Vivek, it's funny because even I thought it was just the high popularity that killed my attacks. They'd quote unquote go off, but then nothing would happen. And if I swap to say Shore, I wouldn't get the lag. And even when the campaign was Vivek isn't fully populated, I would still get that little bit of annoying lag.
Yeah, PvP it's I don't know if it's been less laggy or more laggy in Wolf Hunter. I haven't played a lot of it, to be honest, because of the lag and just kind of the struggle bus of attacks not going off, which is something I've seen a lot of people struggle with. Especially for some reason the Nightblade moves, going into Cloak is the hidden move. They've been struggling to actually get hidden, and then they just get dinked by a bunch of other builds.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's the thing. I believe that with each patch they do something with PvP. This patch they fixed a lot of audio issues and other little things that smoothen out performance. But then there's always little new things that pop up, and then you kind of have to learn how to deal with them, and it's not always the most fun thing, but I mean, hey, that's what it is.
I feel like there's always a new problem with a fix. So hey, we fixed this, and then this next problem, it's like weeds, dude. They just keep popping up somewhere.
Yep.
But yeah. So have you been kind of allocating your time to different places because PvP has been sort of laggy or just not operating correctly, or have you been still just switching around campaigns and stuff?
For the most part, I've actually been doing a lot of PvE stuff lately because I'm not I can get salty and stuff on camera, but when I find myself genuinely getting just frustrated at the experience and not having fun, if I'm not having fun, I don't believe my audience is gonna have fun. So I'll always jump to something else. I'll do some. Today we ran. I've never run Vet Cradle of Shadows, so today we ran that, and that was fun. And
awesome.
Oh yeah, it was great. I was super pumped, and it's just nice to swap it up every once in a while to not bog yourself down with something that you're not finding fun, because if you don't find it fun, I don't think many other people will watch you for that. Wow, this guy's clearly not having a good time, right?
Yeah, very fair point. And I think I've talked to you about this before, but I think when you do PvP and you go into PvE, it's just so refreshing. Or when the vice versa, if you do a lot of PvE, myself, and I go into PvP, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how good it felt to just crush someone under my foot. So that change of pace I think is really good. And then as you said too, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, the people watching your stream are going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to go find someone who's enjoying themselves, and then I'll hang out with them. So staying positive 100%. Is solid.
Oh yeah. No, if you get into a negative mood, people feel that. It's crazy how you don't even have to say anything. And I think a lot of streamers don't. They kind of just sit there and they but you can notice they're kind of getting agitated, right? You can hear the heftier clicking of keys and stuff. And if I find myself if I find myself in that position, I'm just like, no, this ain't me. Like, I'm just gonna get irritated. I'm gonna start calling people names. It's just not gonna be good. So I'll jump over it. And yeah, you're right. PvE is refreshing. It's something that you just like dive into and just feel confident, right?
I have to agree, and I think just switching keeps things, I don't know, like I said, more fresh. And I think you in general, I think the whole community would say you're one of the most positive PvEers, even when you're having a bad day and the lag's hitting you and you're getting stream sniped, which I've seen happen before too. You're not the kind of guy who goes, all right, I'm done, and you log off. You kind of try to readjust, move to a different thing, and that's commendable from one streamer to another, because my rage will get the best of me sometimes, even just from stream lag, not even the game lagging, and then I get mad. So I have to commend you. I gotta give you a clap for keeping that positive attitude.
Stream snipers, they can get under your skin. I have a respect, and like I've got a relationship with stream snipers in a way that like people that explode and like just can't handle it as a streamer. First of all, like you gotta know that like being a streamer, you're gonna face that, right? People are gonna come after you. You are a target, and an easy to find target as well, right? And they're gonna be on the big screen, right? And they're gonna get a rise out of you. But like, yeah, no, stream sniping, it's just another obstacle to tackle as a live streamer. It's no different than your computer breaking or OBS not working properly. It's just something you gotta know. You gotta deal with, right?
You gotta mentally prepare yourself for it, because it's kind of an inevitability. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna happen. No, even if you've got like 5 to 10 viewers, it's gonna happen. People are always out there, and you rise above it, and that's how people notice you. You can just be better than them, right?
Yeah, I remember during the mid-year mayhem event, even I was doing PvP, which is shocking. And it was 5 to 10 people hanging out, because mid-year mayhem, everyone was streaming, everyone was having a good time, and I was getting stream sniped. And you got to kind of clap your hand and be like, the fact that you took time out of your day to figure my campaign, find me with the 10-15 second lag, and then actually kill me and teabag me all on camera, it annoys me, but at the same time, you're a dedicated individual. We got to take the pluses out of this.
Free viewership, right?
Yeah, honestly, hey, you're watching my stream, that's more important to me, at least. I'm like, all right, cool, you're hanging out in the chat, having a good time, I guess, if you're gonna come get me.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I also want to talk about, and I just watched it, dude, your new video, by the way, I didn't even say this before stream, was awesome. But as a Sork main myself, I cried a little bit. So when you made the video and you showed that shield, I actually tested it on PTS, and it hurt, dude. I was trying to do VMA, and it was a struggle. But yeah. I do feel for Sork mains. I tease them a lot, because I generally find that like Sorks, and no offense to like pro Sorks players out there, like the tactic that Sorks can use against anybody is, let's face it, they're shields. Like the shields it's what makes me rage. It's what makes other people rage. But like, it is literally what makes a Sork a Sork. It is.
Right?
We can't do the most damage. We're not gonna have the best AoEs, but god damn it, you will not kill us.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like you guys need to shield up like a turtle, and then when you actually get your burst, when you actually get your snap and turtle senses on, like you guys can hit hard, and that's what concerns me about it. And I don't find that the critical on the shields is a bad thing at all. I say props, critical strikes on shields, that's my build. I want to crit on people harder than they've ever felt before. But like when you got these shield delays, it does, if it makes me kill a Sork 10 times faster than I could, I don't want it, right? It takes the challenge away, right? It makes the class just kind of not fun. And as a Sork, I played a Sork, I told myself I was not going to use any shields. Like, I really wanted to learn how to play a Sork without shields, just in case anything happened. And it is doable, but the shields do help out a lot, right? So.
100%. And I think the thing it's interesting to me is how PvP problems leak into PvE, because I really think that Sork shield change was a PvP change. It was like, hey, Sorks in PvP, they're doing all this stuff, and then PvE players like me are like, well, I can't do VMA anymore as easily. I can't be like, I always talk about, there's sort of like 2 DPS in a group, at least when I'm playing. There's a DPS who's super bursty, who needs a lot of attention from the healer, and then there's also DPS who maybe don't do as much damage, but are much more sustainable. They can pick up on tank. If they do like a Sork, if a tank goes down, a Sork can hold that boss for at least 10 seconds. And that was something that was really useful. So I feel like the Sork lost a lot of PvP, like, I don't know, usefulness, or PvE usefulness, but PvP it might be more balanced, because I mean, when I play on my Sorc, I shield, I rune prison, and then I use Mage's Wrath and just hope my execute goes off, hope I get that lucky buff. And that's what a lot of Sorcs do, and it's not fair, and I was kind of just exploiting it because I'm like, I suck at PvP anyway, I might as well enjoy myself for a little bit, but it kind of, it's good for PvE, but I think it's going to really mess up PvE Sorcs, and things are going to change a lot.
Yeah, no, it really is. Like, I noticed, that's what I felt like for everybody that actually dedicated that, like, especially Magic Sorcs, because Stam Sorcs are not uber popular in PvE, but Magic Sorcs are awesome, and to have them messed it in that way, it's hard, because, like, I feel as though they could have done something with the morphs, instead of just saying, this shield and that shield, everything's
all
nerfed.
Shields.
All shields dead. I feel as though they really dedicated a lot of what they were doing to the PvP Sorcs, and I know that Sorcs are gonna hurt in PvE, because, like, there are some Sorcs in PvE that would never touch PvP, but because of this change, they're gonna have to adapt their playstyle. And although it's only, thankfully, a 1 second kind of duration, 1 second in an MMO
is a long time.
you feel it. Like, when I was learning the Sigic abilities, I didn't like them. Because I'm a Stamblade, right? So everything instant. I want everything right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And that 1 second interruptible too. People were coming to my chat last night and we were talking about it because they know I'm a Sorc main, so they're interested in what my opinion is. And they'll say, well, it's only 1 second. And I'm like, yeah, 1 second in real life, guys, is nothing. But 1 second in MMO is the difference between winning and losing. Like, seriously, in PvP, really? In PvE, anywhere. It's seriously such a big time span. So we'll see how it is. The community and the forums have definitely come out, and they've been like, hey, we don't like this. I do have to ask, though, because I've asked a lot of big streamers. Ninja614 said, maybe. Do you think ZOS will revert this if enough people come out and say they're not a fan of it? Or do you think they'll stick to their guns?
Well, the problem I have is that, like, you know, the riots happened for, like, and I was thinking about this today, like the riots happened of, like, nerf Sorcs, nerf Sorcs, nerf Sorcs, and so they're finally nerfing them in a way that they deemed worthy. Now, I don't believe that all of the PvP changes are for the best. No, I think a lot of people assume that I'm always 100% on board with what ZOS does, and with this one, I really do think that the crit chance is good, like, I really do. But they needed to nerf it in other ways than just like, just add a duration and then I'll fix it. I don't think adding a duration is like this like span of like it feels a little bit sloppy to me personally. I feel like there needed to be either like a more negative effect, like resource wise, like a heftier cost, or maybe like a sacrifice cost or something like that. Just because like with giving the duration, it feels sloppy. And I feel, as a Stamblade, that 1 second that they're going to take to, everybody's calling it the poop position because the Sorcs kind of like, they go down.
It looks like it's doing something, okay? I'm not going to...
it's awkward. It is awkward. And so 1 second that these Sorcs are doing this thing, I'm going to pop in a light attack to poison inject and jump on this guy. Like, why would I let some dumb duration get in the way of me and having a clean gank, right? I'm going to use that to my advantage, right? And I don't believe that's entirely fair because in some cases, shields are like basically what makes a Mad Sorc live through a fight, right? And you could still kill a Mad Sorc even when they're all shielded up. It's more difficult.
Yeah,
and the
it's
duration,
a little more work, but you can get it. You can get it.
Duration.
And they will, if you're doing enough damage, you can exhaust their resources as a PvP Sorc sometimes. You definitely lose because they're wearing heavy armor usually, or they have tri-stack lifts on, so they don't have as much max mag. Excuse me, so they can be wiped down quick. I think the last thing I want to say is I feel like they took like a hammer to something that needed like a toothpick to fix. I think the Sorc maybe was a little overpowered and maybe could have used a nerf, but I feel like they really just smashed up all shields. And I don't know. I hope they change it back. I don't know if they will. I mean, I remember Morrowind. I remember the great regen that everyone lost, and they didn't change a damn thing. So
they honestly that Morrowind. Well, that's the thing with the Morrowind patch. Like everybody, like I use that as a great example of like how a community will literally try to kill its own game, like not even fix it.
Kill it. Yeah, you're like, 100% right. Streamers like people quit their game. Yeah, insane. And then there was a lot of hate.
Well, they quit their game until everything was okay, and then ever again. Like it was just gone, right?
Yeah, they come crawling back. And you know, for all the Sorc players, including myself, maybe time to roll a new character, maybe try a different class. I don't know.
And if they do actually end up falling through with this, honestly, it's just a nerf. And I think people learn to adapt, and this will do nothing but help push Sorcs to understand time partitioning, because right now I don't believe Sorcs have any grasp on real combat time partitioning. Even myself, I love playing a Sorc, and I feel like when I'm playing a Sorc, I don't need to be concerned with almost anything. Very few abilities have anything to do with a duration cast. So having shield duration is just gonna, I don't know, teach you how to really like, I don't know, predict your battles, right?
Exactly. I gotta take a side note. It's just fun talking PvP. I've done this as the 6th podcast. It's really cool. I already can see, like, I don't know. I enjoy hearing more about PvP because I don't do it enough. So, again, I've never thought about time and when to use the shield as important. In PvE, it's obviously important, but really in PvP, right when you get in that battle, it has a longer cast time, or duration time now, so now you gotta kind of strategize a little different. So, that's, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I kind of wanted to shift gears here because a lot of people wanted this question, and here's the thing, dude, maybe it's because I'm just a big Kevduit fanboy, I kind of know these answers because I watched your Q&A video from like 3 years ago. But
let's go for it.
But people wanted to know, so what got you into gaming? Let's start at the base question. What was your first game, first console? What got you into it? You were like, oh, I gotta do more of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember gaming since I was 2. Honestly, like, my parents were like, you knew how to game before you could walk. And and the thing is, like, I sat down and we had a PC, and it was in our kitchen. And so, like, my mom was always, like, you know, like, helping me set up my games and helping me out. Because my mom knew how to play games, right? So she was always helping me with games. And so I think the first games, plural, because I can't remember one that I was specifically, like, sat down and started playing. There was a game called Crystal Caves, a game called Duke Nukem 1 and 2. I wasn't allowed to play, past those. And then a game called Commander Keen. And those are, like, my first gaming experiences. And I think that, like, as a kid, my mom, as she taught me how to play the game and how to, like, you know, like, manage the keyboard, I just kind of got into it, and I just started beating these games and faster and more rapid, right? And I just kind of, like, craved that challenge, right? So I don't know, as time went on, I mean, my dad, we were always about 2 console generations behind, all right? Like, we weren't rolling in the dough. So when the Nintendo 64 came out, my dad bought me so maybe 1 generation behind, Super Nintendo. So, like, I had, like, the Super Nintendo, and then I had the like, when the GameCube came out, I got the N64. So I was like really down that Nintendo route, and that was like, those were like my gaming experiences. Lots of, like, gaming with buddies, lots of Smash Bros, Donkey Kong 64, and Mario Party, that kind of stuff. But I think that when I really started to take gaming seriously was when I built my first PC, and I knew that, like, I knew the power of it at that point, and I really wanted to, like, get on the games and, like, really play the tough stuff, right? And I think that was probably around 2008 was when I built my first PC. I'd been doing that kind of stuff for a couple years beforehand, but that was, like, one of my first completed projects, and that was also when I had got an Xbox 360. So then I was playing Halo Reach, doing some, like, crazy stuff on PC, and yeah, that's kind of like my life of gaming.
Yeah, that is that's a pretty rich history. A lot of, I mean, me personally, I was just PS2 because my parents thought video games were the devil's brew for, like, the longest time. They're like, he's not gonna go outside, he's not gonna play sports, he's not gonna do this, and this. But,
well, I got outside, but
yeah, no, I was like, I'll still go outside, you know, when it's daytime. So,
yeah.
But then, what got you into Elder Scrolls? Again, it's funny because I kind of know these answers. But what was your first Elder Scrolls game? What really made you fall in love with it? What was, like, that moment where you're like, all right, this is
so when my family did a big move back in 2012, and I was entering grade 10 at that time, and I was like, okay, like, I was empty. Like, I had this void, and I wanted to fill this void, right? And YouTube was one of the things I picked up during this time, but before even I started the YouTube stuff, I went to GameStop, and I found an original Xbox copy of Morrowind. So I'm like, I've heard of the Elder Scrolls, and Skyrim is just came out or whatever. So I thought, okay, I'll pick up this Morrowind game and try it. I played that one for about maybe 50 hours, not a ton. And then I'm like, oh, but there's Oblivion. And so I wasn't like big into Morrowind, but when I played Oblivion, I got into when we officially were moved in. I got Oblivion, I sat down, and that's probably what wrote me into any Elder Scrolls title in general. Like, it was the most it was the biggest world, the most expansive immersion, all that kind of stuff. This RPG of really do what you want. It's not like Zelda where there's like a set path. It was Oblivion. It was like be your own, right? And Oblivion is not only just like my favorite Elder Scrolls title, it's my favorite game of all time just because of how just awesome. It's just such a buggy, beautiful game. I love everything about it. And I think, yeah, it was Oblivion that definitely got me into Elder Scrolls and like and got me interested in like not just like, okay, it's a fun game, but like the lore and all that kind of stuff.
No, that's that's interesting because I started off with Skyrim and there's always that like sort of tale you can't play backwards.
Right.
So and I actually have played Oblivion because my college roommate when I was a junior, he loved Oblivion. He's like, Skyrim's good, but Oblivion, you can literally go into the arena and just punch people. You can level up your fists and level up your jumping. You can jump really high in the air and then punch people. And it just seems like Oblivion had so many more options and character customization. Maybe not with the actual look of the character, but like the role-playing aspect. Like, okay, my character, his dad was a fighter, and like now he's gonna fight. Like, you can't do that in Skyrim. Like, you can get into bar fights, but you can't level it up as a skill line. So I feel like a lot of people said every Elder Scrolls game is kind of closing in on itself and becoming more condensed with the character options, but the world's becoming bigger. So
the world, well, that's the thing with I loved Skyrim. There's people that played Oblivion. They're like, I hate Skyrim. I love Skyrim, even though I put like 3,000 hours into Oblivion before I even touched Skyrim, which was in the same 3 months. I can't remember. Anyways, it was just a bit after I was playing Oblivion.
Yep.
And I honestly, yeah, like the thing about Oblivion is that it's like it was one of the classic ones, like Morrowind. You're in this prison. You're this guy. You're nobody special. You're nobody special at all, and that's what I liked about the game. It was like you were in the king's dream and that kind of stuff, but it's not like you're this crazy dragonborn of legends and you go out there and all of a sudden everybody's like, it's the dragonborn, right? Like you're not. It's not that at all. It's very what you want to specifically level up, you gotta grind for it like crazy, because the grind in that game is 100 times more brutal than it is in Skyrim. Even though I love Skyrim, it just felt like, more condensed, more focused, bigger world, more beautiful, crazier combat, but definitely more, condensed.
I agree completely, and I feel like that's what role-playing is about. Like, I didn't like Skyrim. If someone said, what's your one gripe, your one big one, why do I have to be the leader of everything? I would love to be like a part of things. Like, I don't want, because when you're the leader, you feel committed, and then it's hard to role-play. I'm the leader of the Companions and the Dark Brotherhood. These people help people in trouble for gold, and these people kill anyone who says they want someone dead. It's like, I like that doesn't work. But with Oblivion, and from what I played, you kind of get to make your own path, and you're not this destined hero. And then I wanted to tie that in with ESO, where they made every player their own, like, the hero. And I kind of wish they didn't do that. I wish they had made us more average, and we had to work to become good. So you're not, like, the one who's supposed to kill Metamarco. You're just part of the group, and that would have felt cool, too. So
I feel Somerset really did a good job with separating hero from your character, because with Vardenfell or Morrowind and like Dark Brotherhood, even the Thieves Guild, you felt it felt too forced. But with Somerset, like you knew some of the people that you went into the campaign, all of a sudden they're there from like way back when in the base game campaign, and like you were kind of you're kind of brought up in this like as a random bystander sort of thing. And it feels like you are watching the heroes work around you until the end, when you're kind of like arms for hire, and then you kind of elevate to like a way higher hero. But like with Skyrim and the Dark Brotherhood and that kind of stuff, like Oblivion did a great job of making you feel like a secondary, not even like a big part of it, just a part of it, until usually around the end of each of the guilds and campaigns. Then usually there's a bit of a twist, but. No, I love it. It's just a fantastic game. Just a fantastic game.
Definitely. And the last thing I want to put too is being Elder Scrolls Online. I feel like I'm preaching a little bit here. Elder Scrolls Online, let's highlight that online. It would have been cool if you could have done the main quest with like a bunch of people. And instead of like one person taking on Metamarket, it was like a PvP event. And like a bunch of people can like instance for it once they get to that point. Then they can all go charge them together. And then it wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm the hero, but there's another hero over there. There's another one over there. Why is everyone the hero? It'd be like, oh no, I'm part of it. So I think Oblivion really captured that. And that sort of, even though you are by yourself in Oblivion, you're not like be all tell all. You're just someone who's got to prove their worth, and I think that makes roleplay more fun. There's more pride when you get to that point. But let's go to Elder Scrolls Online. So when did you get into ESO, YouTube videos, streaming, all that good stuff that now we know and love?
Well,
it's a long story, guys.
Yeah, big one. I got into ESO 2014.
Yep, that's when it came out. Yep.
Yeah, I think it was end of 2014. I wanted to play it when it first came out, and then I'm like, it's a paid subscription, no way. So I totally like ixed that. I picked up the game with a 3-month free subscription. And then I handed in that subscription 3 months before the game went not free to pay, but pay to play.
Yep.
And so that would have been near the end of the year there, or maybe the beginning of 2015. So that's kind of when I got into Elder Scrolls Online. And as I got into it, my YouTube channel was 350 subscribers, I believe. And I just did what I wanted. And ESO was like just one of those games that I was like, oh, I like it, I'll just do what I want. So I went ahead and I made a video on it, and made videos, plural. And then I was learning stuff, and like I remember when I played Oblivion and Skyrim, I wish I would have known some tips, right? And so I saw all these new players going to be coming in a couple of months to just pay to play. And I'm like, you know what I should do? I should just like play like crazy these next couple months, and then make some guides on them. But like, the thing is, who I am, I could never ever make content that's bland. Like, if my content was like, so you go here and you kill this now, like I couldn't do that. Like my YouTube channel has never been, even if I made a guide, it's never been bland and boring. Like, I wanted to make sure that like well, for example, there's a comedian I know who says the most well-received knowledge is when you have something that ties it together, something that triggers a reminder. And that's what I'm like, you know what, like, who I am, I love cracking jokes. If they're cringy, if maybe they're well-timed, whatever, I love cracking jokes. And I know that a joke sticks better even with knowledge than it does just like telling somebody something. Like, it's hard. Like, somebody will be out in the world and be like, hey, I see Question Elf, and now I remember what he said about this, right? And like, you tie in the jokes and stuff. So when I started to make videos, I was writing a tutorial and it was really bland. I'm like, I gotta tie jokes to this. So I just started adding jokes here and there and seeing stuff that I was doing. And at the time, they weren't like, hilarious jokes. I thought they were, but I go back and rewatch them, like that's awful. But it just sparked when the audience came in. They saw the videos, and at the time, Cypher and Deltia, I know those were, and Fangrush and King Richard and Allcast, like, they were guys that were like the prominent members of the ESO community. And I was like, oh boy, like, I'm walking into a kind of a hailstorm here. Like, I gotta know what, right? So I just started making videos, and people liked the content, and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna make funny stuff because I'm sick of making guides, and I made just dungeon runs and any experiences I had when I had a microphone in front of my face. I just uploaded that, or I edited it, and then I uploaded it, and people enjoyed it, and I love doing it. So
yeah, you're really a breath of fresh air when you're searching through the ESO community, and that not in a bad way to the other ESO creators, because there's some great content creators, like Alcast is one of them. He's purely information, and when you need to know something, he's a great resource. People come to my stream, they go,
I like him.
I'm wondering about this build. I'm like, well, he has a beautifully made website. He's extremely knowledgeable, and he has a great YouTube channel with just about everything he says. So I think there's a place for that. But then you come around, and to these new people, Alcast is tough to digest, because they go, what does this mean? What does this mean? And you do a very good job simplifying, explaining, and also making it very, like, most of your videos are in between like 4 and 9 minutes, and you do that because it's approachable to watch. It's like, oh, this is a 4-minute video and I'll learn something. And so I think you've like masterfully done that. So
oh, thank you.
people always ask me, I always have the Kevduit, there's a link in my stream, because people be like, hey, I'm wondering about how to grind really fast. And I'm like, well, I could make a video, but Kev already kind of made it and it won't be as good as mine, so go watch his. I'm like, if you have other questions I can answer on stream for sure, but you definitely have nailed that down, and people love your videos. You're the biggest ESO channel right now, if one of the biggest, if not the biggest. You've been killing it, so it's obviously received well.
I'm still surprised that I couldn't believe that the channel actually grew to like 180,000 people. Like I was like, wow, like, that's an impressive number. I couldn't believe it. Like that. Like it's just the ESO community is prominent on YouTube. That's what it says to me. I enjoy that.
Yeah, and they don't seem to be too negative. I don't read your comments extremely carefully. I'll comment and I'll say something, but they don't ever seem to be like, oh, this isn't true. Oh, this is some people. There are
the times. Oh yeah, there are times when I get comments like, this build is bad in all ways, and like the thing is, like, it's YouTube, right? Yeah. At some point, like I used to let them. Oh yeah. I mean, I used to let comments beat me up all the time because I was really new to this thing. I was like, oh my goodness, like there's actually audience coming in. I gotta know what I'm doing, right? And when somebody commented something contrary to what I said in the video, I would just beat myself up. And at some point, it's just you just gotta stand firm and know what you know, right? And believe in what you know. And if people are gonna try to like come in there and tell you that you're dumb and stuff like that, like. You made something work. That's what matters. It's not about they can have their own opinions, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing that you do well as well, I really feel like I'm really being very friendly right now. It's probably because I'm fanboying, but Kev does really well is, you know, if someone says, all right, this build isn't good, go watch him on stream. It's not like you're not putting all of your information out for everyone to watch live. So right. I mean, that's what the stream is in a way. I at least when people watch, some people ask questions. I feel like you're really like validating yourself and saying, see, because you don't play a lot of meta builds, you're doing a lot of different kind of builds, and you said today, I lurk a lot in your stream because I'm usually at work, and you said, you know, hey, I'd rather be the guy who wants to spill skeever blood on someone and they don't know what the heck's going on because this is some set no one's heard of, instead of just going on and learning the next best set and just kind of beating everyone that way. There's not as much pride in it.
Yeah, so I think it's more fun. It's more fun to well, for me personally, just to take something that's so unique that people don't understand and then use it against them. Like that is, I don't know, it's way more fun that way.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think your community loves it, and I think the community of Elder Scrolls loves it, so I would say keep doing it. But,
that's the plan.
The other thing I want to talk about a little bit was the Twitch streaming. So then you started Twitch streaming after YouTube. Was this something that you were like, maybe I'll try it, and then you saw people doing it, or you're like, oh no, I'm going to Twitch stream once this, and this happens?
Yeah. Yeah, so with the Twitch streaming thing, I streamed way back in the day. But I don't say that I actually officially started streaming until around maybe 3 years ago, maybe around the time Orsinium came out. That's when I know that I kind of started getting into the stream life. So what would that have been? 2016, maybe?
Yep, 2016.
2016, 2015, yeah, something like that. Anyways, I got into stream when Orsinium came out, and so that stream-iversary or whatever you want to call it, it'll be coming up soon. And
there we go.
I know it's good. I don't even know when Orsinium came out. I'll have to keep track and go back and look at when I started getting into that, and then I'll do a special thing. But like the streaming thing to me was a little bit difficult to get into because I actually would get stage fright before I would go live, and I don't know why. I honestly, because I'm not nervous about public speaking. I'm nervous about like saying something stupid while I'm public speaking, but not public speaking in general. And I would get really nervous before I went live, even if it was in front of 30 to 50 people. I would just buckle down. And you know what? Like it took about maybe a week, and then I just got this confidence boost, and it was crazy. I was just like, I absolutely love this, and I just got into it. Like I just was like, okay, I don't know. I'm not gonna have a stream schedule. I'm just gonna stream when I want to. And people came out, and I just did that all the time, and it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And I know that like I made a mistake, and I changed my name on Twitch, and that kind of hurt the channel a little bit because it did a bunch of notification problems. But the thing is, for me, it's although like you lose numbers. I mean, once again, it's just numbers. It's not the end all be all. Money and numbers and popularity and that kind of stuff. It's fun to have, But like when you do what you love and you get to do what you love and just be passionate about it, I think that experience in itself really elevates, I don't know, positivity, enjoying your life. It should be something that like lifts you up, right?
Yep.
And so streaming for me was that, it was that final escape of like, okay, I'm gonna actually be, you know, one-on-one with my audience and like talk to them and grow a relationship with the audience versus the standard, you know, YouTuber and commenter relationship that I think a lot of people kind of like to cling to. I want to have that personal relationship.
Yep, and you don't see a lot of people, or at least in my experience, I don't see a lot of people really putting in the stream dedication and the YouTube dedication you do, because the thing is, as a YouTube creator myself, just podcast right now because life is crazy, the editing you're doing on the back end is nothing short of amazing with what you're doing with your stream schedule as well, every day, either in the morning or in the evening for at least 2 hours. And then on top of that, I guarantee, I bet that you're just going right back to work after on whatever the next video is, because the new Sork video, again, you have these edits, like one of them where you cut out the patch notes and put it in a tablet. I'm like, that is a lot of work. That is not just something that you just like copy and paste, especially the angle you got on it. I see that. Trust me, it's appreciated by another video editor. I'm like, damn, that is not something that is done in a
lot of work.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you pick up little techniques, and the problem is everybody's like, oh, it probably gets quicker with time. It's like, no, because every time you do it, you want to up your game, right? You want to do something better. And YouTube is my passion. YouTube and Twitch, if I could do that forever and just have such an awesome just relationship with the audience, just go for it, right? I would do that for as long as I could. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work streaming. I've upped my stream times and like changed them, and it's crazy. It's crazy, but I need to, you got to do what works for you. And so for me personally, like I stream like Mondays through Fridays. I'm doing my streams, and I've got like some morning streams, some night streams. And then if I'm not doing one thing, I'm like editing a video. If I'm not doing that, I'm planning a live stream or whatever. And it's like the videos alone, you got to be quick with them, right? Because they're if I can get a video edited in 10 hours, I consider myself lucky.
Yeah, no,
because like
definitely
a lot of work, right?
Definitely. I'll do very simplistic videos and it takes me 2, and then I watch, I'm like, geez, that's dedication. That's dedication.
It's crazy.
How do you work at finding that balance? Because you're obviously married, you're living your life, you're streaming.
Good question.
You got to stay up to date on ESO. You got to make videos. You got a big list, my man.
Oh yeah. No, I'm telling you. I mean, honestly, for me, I'm not even gonna lie. You know, when my wife and I first moved in together, it was a struggle for me to find balance, because it was like I want to hang out with my wife, and I want to like have dinner with her, or I want to like watch a movie or just play games. But at the same time, I gotta know, like, okay, I gotta make my videos, gotta do my live streams. When is this gonna work? And to really sit down and actually plan, if you've got somebody that like you're, for me, is my wife. Like if I need balance, I gotta talk to her about it, or else I'm never gonna find that balance. Or like back in the day before, like my wife actually moved to Canada and we were still like living apart, the balance of my life was just understanding how to put all of this into a work day. And like, if for me and for us, we have the luxury of this being a self-run, business or whatever.
Yep.
And it allows you to okay, I had to go get groceries at this time when I should have been editing videos, so tonight I'm gonna finish it up, right? Like, we have the luxury of that. But at the same time, like, you gotta know, all right, so what's Monday gonna look like? What's all the way from Monday to Sunday gonna look like? What is every hour of your day gonna look like? And then plan it out from there. Understand your like parameters with making videos or doing live streams or building a website or doing your behind the scenes stream stuff, right? You gotta set that stuff in stone before you do it, or you're not gonna do it well.
Yeah, and it's not easy. I think a lot of people look at YouTubers and streamers and go, "Oh, that must be the life. You get to do YouTube videos and yeah, it's the life. It's great. I mean, just personally myself, I love it. But there is always a little bit of fear, like at least you never know how long it's gonna last. How much work do you have to put in? What's the right amount of work to put in? Are you pleasing the audience? Is the audience happy with the content? Am I gonna get content out when it's up to date? Like, you got the Sork video out at the right time. Like, the patch notes are a huge thing, but what if it took 2 more days and like something else changed in the patch notes? Yep. That video might not do as well. Like, it's a very, very like crazy lifestyle, and I think a lot of people don't see that. And
well, And that's why, you got to make, at some point, you got to make the tough decision of am I going to go all in? And for me, like, I had a job last year on the side of streaming and on the side of YouTube. I worked usually it was about a 3 to 4 hours a day job, just because I wanted to get out. I wanted to make a little bit of extra cash, and I really like that, physical like exercise and stuff. And I knew this year that I had to give that up because at some point you can't balance that in your schedule anymore. It just won't work. And with having so many things to balance on your shoulders at the same time, you know what you got to give up, you know what you want to keep, and then you just got to focus. Because without focus, you're not going to have that drive, right?
100%.
And so it's brutal, and a lot of people don't see it. And the thing is, a lot of people will never see it or understand it, and that's fine. It's not up to them to understand it. It's up to them to, watch your videos, right? Support you.
Exactly. The likes, the subscribes, man. It really it adds up, and every single one's important.
Oh yeah.
So
You can't ever hit 1 million without hitting one, right? You gotta have one. So it's important. Every single person that ever is involved with your channel is an important person, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's something that I think as people get bigger, I've been told, if you ever get big, don't forget about like staying humble. And I'm like, I mean, I know so many people who are way bigger who are still humble. I think it's just the person. I think it depends on like the work that you put in and stuff like that. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough conversation, but I was talking to people today and they were talking about streaming, and I'm like, if you love it, you got to do it consistently and tell people that you love it and bring that positivity, as you've already said. Sort of reiterating. You got to like it when no one's watching, so you can like it when everyone's watching. That's just the way it has to be.
Well, and that's, I believe, the most successful creators are not deemed by their numbers and by their wealth, but by their positivity and pure joy they get out of this. I mean, honestly, I don't believe you could live a full life and then be on your deathbed and say, yeah, I've got $100 billion and a billion subscribers on YouTube, and truly think you're happy because you spent so much time dedicated to just yourself, right? You were never truly positive or joyful in what you did. You just kind of did it because of the numbers and what it gained you, right? And I think, to strive for success is about discovering that thing that gives you pure joy and just being passionate about it, going for it, even if it's hard work. It's gonna pay off 100%.
I agree. All right, so we are at 45 minutes. If you have to get going, you can. I can go for another 10 if you want to. I just had a couple more questions. Completely up to you, though.
No, that's good. Let's go.
All right, so I wanted to talk about, so I've seen you streaming other games. So you streamed the new Call of Duty. What other games are you planning on streaming? Are there other games you're really looking forward to that are coming out? Stuff like that.
Forsaken, the Destiny 2 DLC Forsaken was really interesting. That was literally the day my PC died that the DLC launched, so I was like, oh. So I'll probably get into that a bit, usually with my wife. As well as the blackout from Black Ops 4 is phenomenal. At some point, if you enjoy a game enough and you know it's gonna help grow your channel, to jump on that train, it's not a dumb thing to do. And so I'm gonna definitely go towards Blackout. But then you've got Red Dead Redemption 2, you've got Fallout 76. I mean, like,
there are a lot of good games.
Oh yeah, Fallout 76 though, I believe that would be my flagship for this year. That is what I am most looking forward to.
Awesome. So I've always it's gonna change subjects again. I've never been a big Fallout fan. I've always loved ESO, but sell me on Fallout. What Fallout games have you played? What do you love about it? What is it better than Skyrim or Oblivion, or what's going on there?
It's apples and oranges, right? They're both fruit, but they're very different. The Fallout games are very okay. So the first thing you'll notice is they're far more graphic. They're very, very violent. A lot of swearing, a lot of I like Bethesda because they don't ever focus on anything like sexual in the games. Like, you can get like married or whatever, but like there's nothing ever like nudity or anything like that, which I respect. But there's a lot of swearing, a lot of violence. And that's one thing. It's much more, I believe, intense. Like, you are like in intense gunfights, stim packing, going out there. Just I like Fallout for that intense gunplay. That is one of the things that drags me in. The open world, questing, that sort of stuff, the discoveries. I love that exploration in a post-apocalyptic, which is personally one of my favorite, I don't know, ideas to explore. I don't believe it's better than, say, like the Elder Scrolls titles, but it's definitely a fantastic game, especially Fallout 4. The previous ones they were good in my opinion. I don't think I got into them at the right time, but Fallout 4 was phenomenal.
Yeah, I actually played a little bit of Fallout 4, and they had some cool things that they didn't have in Skyrim that they put on Fallout 4, and I was like, dang, this actually could have been really cool implemented in Skyrim. And I'm guessing you're going to be doing a lot of the multiplayer stuff with you and Cindy and stuff like that in Fallout 76?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've both got a copy pre-ordered. We've got that one pre-ordered. We've got Division 2 as well as, like, we play a couple games together. But Fallout 76 is one of those games that we're quite pumped for.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And like you said, you know, when a new game comes out, it never hurts to take your stream and try it out, because there's gonna be a new community, new people that want to watch it, and I'm gonna be tuning in for sure, because, excuse me, I'm not the biggest Fallout fan, so I'm gonna watch you play it before I decide, am I gonna purchase this or not? But yeah. I'll come into your chat and be like, sell me.
Thank you. No, it's not. But I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how the game is. I mean, if the game is utter garbage, I'm not gonna sell you on that.
Yeah, I'd be shocked though. Bethesda, they seriously always put out good content.
And from what I've just seen with this, it looks pretty cool.
I've had a lot of viewers come in. They go, "You playing Fallout 76?" I'm like, "I don't know yet." And then they'll send me these long messages about all these things that are going on, all these new things that are added, and I'm like,
"Yeah,
that looks pretty inviting." I'm not gonna lie, that looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's awesome. All right, my man. Well, it's 8:50 for me, and I figure Cindy will be getting home soon, and it's probably a good place to wrap up. But, dude, yeah. I just want to thank you so much for being on. I would love to have you on again and explore more of these topics, because, you know, 50 minutes, you get stuff done, but I always, like, type it out. I'm like, oh, I'll ask this next time, or I'll do this next time. But,
heck yeah.
I just want to say again, dude, thank you. And, guys, if you haven't checked out Kevduit, like I said, you probably have, but he is on YouTube and he's on Twitch, guys. You stream every day, right?
Yeah, Mondays through Fridays.
Different times, though. So is it like Tuesday, Thursday, then Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Yep.
Perfect. There you go. I know this, actually. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning, Tuesday, Thursday at night. I know this. But,
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, dude, I just want to thank you again for coming. Guys, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to We Will Be Right Back, and then I'll be back in about 5 minutes, and we'll just do the normal stream. So,
cool.
See you guys very shortly.
Thanks again.